Now, the UK Parliament is holding a debate today about ADHD assessments after two petitions calling for more funding for ADHD and autism assessment services amassed over 30,000 signatures. ADHD, that stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, is a form of neurodivergence that can feature inattentiveness, impulsivity and hyperactivity. However, when harnessed correctly, the behaviour that can make people with ADHD ideal for many jobs. Well, let's talk to Leanne Maskell, who's Director of ADHD coach training company ADHD Works. Leanne, good to have you on the programme. So, first of all, just tell us about your story in terms of how long it took, etc., to get diagnosis, but what difference that made to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So after I graduated from university with a law degree, my life just fell apart because I was quite good at doing exams and teaching myself everything at the last minute, but didn't know how to do something like write a CV or go to an interview without having huge meltdowns. So I spent a few years traveling around and just kept self-sabotaging my life. I would start internships and quit and get really upset and change career path completely over and over again, which led to me becoming quite suicidal. And I ended up going to see a private psychiatrist after lots of doctors told me that I was fine because I had a degree. And this psychiatrist told me that I had ADHD. And at the time, I didn't really even believe that ADHD was a problem that could affect adults or people like myself. I thought it was something for young boys, but that diagnosis changed everything for me because it enabled me to publish 3 books, one on ADHD, and get a job in law, mental health and disability law for a couple of years, and I eventually set up my own company. But it just changed how I saw myself completely, and my ability to fit into the world.
Now, the problem is that you've just illustrated it really well, that it's really difficult for people to get a diagnosis, isn't it, if they feel this is something that is an issue for them, especially when you're an adult in the UK within the NHS. It's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, the reason I wrote this book, The ADHD in A to Z, is because my GP told me that if I wanted to change my medication levels, I would have to wait 7 years, because they were like, that's how long formal diagnosis assessment waiting lists are. And I just couldn't believe it because I'd had to pay thousands for mine. And I just thought that was because my life was so hectic that I didn't even have a GP at the time. But to know that so many people are facing these huge waiting lists or going down the private route, which can cost you £1,000 at the start, but then you're also put onto medication. And my doctor told me I had to pay £300 a month for this medication initially, which for someone like that medication just saved my life at the start when things were so bad. And I couldn't believe that I was expected to pay that much money forever just to stay alive.
Leanne, I'm so sorry to say we've got about 25 seconds left on this programme, so I'm going to have to say goodbye to you, but I wish we could talk further and maybe we will again.